Ludus, Vulpes.
Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
And I'm Phil.
You join us as we run through our initial thoughts of Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Our initial thoughts videos are all about getting the game to the table for the first time, how easy is it to teach, who's going to enjoy this game, and how often are you going to be able to get it to the table.
Before we run through our initial thoughts though, I think we should show people how it's set up.
Yeah, the setup of the game is really straightforward and really easy, so let's just take you through that on the board. If you want to follow us down here, where we've got the board placed in the centre of the table. We're going to start at the bottom right hand corner of the board and work our way across. We're going to start with the level 2 locations. They'll be shuffled and placed, followed by the guardians, which are shuffled and placed in their location on the board. And then finally on that section of the board we're going to be shuffling and placing the level 1 locations. Now we're going to place all the resource tokens, starting in this instance with the compasses. We'll follow that with the coins. Then we'll take all our rubies and place those on the board. Then our spearheads. And finally our tablets will go onto the board in that final slot for resources. They're all clearly labelled. Now take your research assistants. You're going to be distributing them into 3 even piles at the bottom of the research tree. Now it is important as you're dealing these out to deal them random and make sure that you're placing them with the silver side face up, not the gold side. That will become useful later in the game. We'll then take our whirlpool tokens and place them over the double boot icons. In a 2-player game, all the double boot icons will be covered. Then take your idols, place 1 idol in each of the level 1 location slots, and you'll be placing 2 into the level 2 location slots. In the level 2 location slots you'll only ever reveal 1 of these, and then we're going to go back down the board and just reveal all the level 1 locations. So now we've got all the idols out on the board, all the resources and all the locations. Next we're going to be placing cards. Take the artifact cards with the blue symbol, shuffle them and place them in the artifact location. Take the fear cards, place those in the fear location, and finally the item cards represented by a trowel, shuffle those and place them in the item location. Then take the moon staff, place that at level turn 1 and place artifact cards up to it and item cards up to it from the opposite location. We'll now start to put out the research track bonuses. Just watch out for the 3 and 4 player only slots. You will skip slots in 2-player games and skip slots in 3-player games. You'll put them out and then turn them face up. And 2 tokens will be placed on the board in a 2-player game for those who get to the top of the research track. Finally, at the top of the research track are 6 locations for bonus points. Take 1 per player and place into each of the slots. So we'll have, in this instance, we'll have 6 2 points, 4 6 points and 2 11 points. Each player will take a starting campsite and their opening hand of cards. Add to the opening hand of cards 2 fear cards per player. Provide each player with their tokens, 2 explorers, a book and a magnifying glass, and the books and the magnifying glasses will get placed at the bottom of the research track. Place them with the magnifying glass on top. Provide everyone with their quick reference sheet. The first player will get 2 coins, the second player will get a coin and a compass. You're ready to play.
So, now you've seen how we set up the game, let's run through some initial thoughts and ideas on how easy it is to teach.
Okay, so the rulebook for this game is really straightforward, really easy to get hold of and get the game set up and playing. The game itself doesn't carry a massive complexity. For those of you familiar with deck building and light resource management games, this will be a very familiar set of mechanisms, maybe combined together for the first time or maybe seen together for the first time for yourselves or other games that do similar things. Broadly speaking, you've got these areas here that you're going to be exploring. It's in your little Indiana Jones, non-defined heroes out to explore. And over on the far side, you've got a little research tree, which acts like a sort of light tech tree, another way of gathering resources and providing you with things that you can do more of. So you've got a couple of major tasks to be completing, and then there's a few minor things that you'll be doing throughout the game. You'll be using these cards. It's a deck builder, so you'll be buying cards. They work in slightly different ways, so that's quite nice. And you'll also be discovering temples out here. Temples are level 1s and level 2s, and then a monster jumps on them, rah! And then you've got to fight it back. Okay. So I suppose it's worth talking about some of the things that you might find a little bit fiddly, or players might find a little bit fiddly. Unlike a lot of deck builders whereby you're playing your entire hand of cards on your turn straight away, you take it in turns to take actions using your cards in this particular deck builder. So it's not as straightforward as like, this is my hand, this is what I'm doing. Sequencing does matter, but you'll be playing and taking one action. There are fast actions indicated by lightning bolts, and you can take as many of those in between your major actions as you want. Actions are denoted on cards, and also a few actions on the board that are standard actions that everyone can do. The other thing that might be worthy of note and worthy of sort of comment is these cards at the top. You're going to buy these cards throughout the game. Over here we have items, and over at this side we have artifacts. As the game progresses, the moon staff will work its way down to a full moon on turn 5, and you're going to end up with more artifacts and less items. Items are purchased for gold, artifacts for compasses. Now, when you buy an artifact, it activates immediately, so you immediately get this benefit, and that will then go into your discard pile. The next time you use it, you're going to have to pay one of these tablet tokens to reactivate it the next time it comes into your hand. The items do not activate immediately, they go into the bottom of your deck and pause almost until next turn, but it does mean that you can see cards you've purchased quite quickly through the game, so you're not like massively delayed in getting there. So there's just a couple of things that I think I found a bit fiddly at first. Cards behaving slightly different, two different types of cards behaving in slightly different ways. But mainly the game plays in a really straightforward way, using the symbols on your cards to take actions on the board. Kirsty, okay. What are your thoughts?
So, my thoughts on this game is I believe this is a fantastic game for anyone who has played The Quest of El Dorado.
Yeah, Quest of El Dorado.
Because obviously you've got the same similar exploring mechanism where you're going out obviously into the jungle or along the rivers, etc. Also, for any fans of Tribes Early Civilization out there, the research tree?
Yeah.
Research tree is very similar to...
it's a tech tree in Tribes, isn't it?
Yeah, very similar to that aspect, because obviously you pay and you gain, you pay and you gain. So, yeah, I feel that anybody who likes those two games, this is a really good one, because it combines the two mechanisms together.
Okay.
My initial thoughts from the first play, when it was first being set up, I was like, there's a lot to take in here. Okay. But actually, as I went along and played, I actually was like, oh, can we have another go? Because it's got that, I think I can do just a little bit better. Yeah. It's got that vibe about it. I do think that this is very sensibly thought out, because at the beginning you're going to be able to buy more because, you're putting your items in your bag. You know what I say about the cards? You're putting your items in the bag, so they're not immediately available. Whereas an artifact, you're going to carry and hold in your hand. You found it, and you're going to use it straight away. Obviously, it's not a very ancient artifact.
I think this logic is slightly dubious, but I'm going to let it go.
The one thing I would say about this game, and obviously we've only had a few plays so far, is I feel that when you are exploring and you're fighting the monsters, level 1 monsters are the same as level 2 monsters.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be much variation in the defeating the monsters. The difference being that on the level 1, the cost is, as you can see here as indicated, 3 compasses plus your form of transport to get there, which I really like about this game.
Yeah.
Just quick side note, the transport is well thought out. If you're on the water, you're on a boat. If you're on the land, you're on a car. If you're on the level 2, it takes twice that amount because it takes twice as long to get there, but also the compasses are twice as long as well, so twice the amount there.
You pay more travel and more exploration icons.
But the monsters are the same.
The monsters are exactly the same.
At the moment. So, yeah, that's something that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like a few plays in and there's a weekend game potentially, so the end game you end up with a turn where all you're doing at the end of your turn is just buying cards because they're victory points, and that feels a bit, to me, it feels like it's an unthought out end game. It just feels like all I can do now is buy a card, but I'm buying a card because of victory points. The cards instantly refill, so on your next go you'll buy another card, and you'll often find that often 2 or 3 plays in, you'll find that a couple of those plays I've just spent the last actions of my last turn just buying cards because there's nothing else for me to do on the board.
Points. You're buying points at the
buying some victory points. Now, this game is fairly light, medium to lightweight. I wouldn't describe it as heavy. For those people who like a real big, thinky, crunchy type game, this is probably not the game for you. I suspect you'll find it a little bit too light. However, for those of you who meet up very casually on sort of midweek nights to play with a group, this is a game that will fit comfortably in an hour and a half, 2 hours with an explanation. So it's not going to be a lengthy teach. It's going to be a fairly quick teach, and it's going to be a fairly quick play once people get their heads around the game, which shouldn't take too long. What I would say is, if you enjoy kind of like, I don't know, action adventures and can lose yourself in the game a little bit, then this game is really a good game for you. If you like to really plot out your moves and think out your moves, this isn't a game where you can sort of really min-max your play particularly. You can, but it's not the essence of the game. The essence of the game is taking turns and grabbing things off the board before your opposing players do. So yeah, overall, real fun game. A couple of flaws maybe at the end, in the end game for me, and I think broadly speaking it's a light to medium game. It's not a medium to heavy game.
No.
And if you like big crunchy games, you'll probably not love this game.
Yeah, I think I agree with most of what you said there. I think it's definitely one. I think we need to do a few more plays,
of course,
before we build up our initial final thoughts, should I say. But yeah, it's definitely one that I'm learning as I play.
Yeah.
I feel that I'm getting slightly better at it, obviously each play I go. But actually, I'm interested in it. It won't be till my final thoughts that I have my comments, but I think there are maybe perhaps 2 clear strategies in this game.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But I would like to play a few more goes first, practice those strategies out, and then I'll come back to you with my final thoughts.
So if you are interested in how this game plays, please follow one of our playthrough video of this game.
Yes. I think the link is
somewhere around here. We should promote it. And if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube.
You can follow us on YouTube. You're probably watching us on YouTube right now.
Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Just search for Ludus Vulpes.
Thanks for your time today.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.